Hello, welcome to the 10-day trend from the Met Office. Plenty going on in the short term. Wet, windy for some wild weather on Wednesday night, and as that clears away, it brings a cold spell. Certainly the end of the working week, a lot colder than the start. How long will the chillier weather last? Well, not too long. Temperatures will steadily be picking up again through the weekend as the winds also start to pick up once more. And then next week, if you're on half term, well, it's going to be typical late October fare. Changeable is perhaps the best way of putting it. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But first of all, as I said, some pretty lively weather on Wednesday night. This deep area of low pressure heading through the English Channel. It's been named as Storm Aurora by the French Meteorological Service because it's across northern France where we're going to see the strongest winds, but also the Channel Isles have the potential for some very strong winds that could cause some disruption. There is a Met Office yellow warning in place for rain across southern parts of England that could also cause some disruption through the early hours. But this is the 10-day trend, so I'm not going to dwell on the short term. If you're interested in that weather warning, check it out on the app or on the website. As that weather system clears away, it opens the door to northerly winds, and that will bring a real chill across the country on Thursday, certainly compared to earlier this week. The winds coming down from the Arctic, so a much fresher feel, particularly in that wind, although many places will have a fine, bright and sunny day on Thursday. Stays pretty chilly into Friday. This ridge of high pressure is slowly moving across the country. That should tend to ease the showers away. There'll still be some on Friday, but many places dry under that little ridge. And then question marks into the weekend. We will see the isobars squeezing together. So, as I said, the wind's picking up and coming in from the southwest, so turning milder slowly but surely. Big question mark over the weekend is the timing of the weather fronts coming in from the west. They will bring some rain, but the timing of that rain, the extent, is open to some doubt. And that's because there's nothing really to develop the low pressure and the weather fronts. The jet stream isn't really engaging with the low pressures up to the northwest. And that always increases the uncertainty, but also how much rain we're going to see left on that weather front as it crosses the country. So broadly speaking, Friday with that ridge moving in, there'll still be some showers in the northwest, but many places will be dry. The winds pick up again on Saturday after easing on Friday. There'll be some rain perhaps in the west, and then that rain, question mark about the positioning and extent of the rain on Sunday. So if you've got plans for the weekend, make sure you stay up to date with the forecast over the next couple of days. Plans for next week? Half term for many of us. Well, the weather's going to be, as I said, pretty changeable. This is the situation for Monday with low pressure nearby, weather front sitting across the UK. But again, if we put the jet stream on, it's not really engaging with the low pressure or the weather fronts, staying well to the south, and the pattern of the jet stream becoming, we say, is more amplified, more north-south in it, and particularly out in the Atlantic. That is very evident indeed. And when this happens, well, the weather patterns can kind of grind to a halt. The main themes for next week, however, are that the weather is chiefly going to be coming in from the west and from the Atlantic. And that can be seen from this, the probabilistic zonal trend. This isn't the high or low pressure. This is whether we're more likely to see westerly winds or easterly winds. And again, this is when we run the computer models several times. This is from the European model. Now, obviously, the prevailing winds in the UK are from the west, so this chart is often blue, but it is very blue, a strong signal for blue through much of next week. So we're much more likely throughout next week to continue to see the Atlantic influencing our weather and the winds coming in from the west. Now, when that happens, obviously, this time of year, they're going to be bringing in moisture, so there will be spells of rain, but it also is likely to keep temperatures around or above average for the time of year. So this is the most likely setup really from Tuesday onwards. Low pressure systems being driven in by the jet stream, highest pressure down to the south, so that's where the driest weather is likely to be. But these low pressure systems that will be moving in will bring spells of rain across the country, always likely to be wettest across the northwest. Now, with that amplifying jet stream, that could mean things get stuck. So there is the possibility of one weather system just lying somewhere across the north of the UK and getting stuck, which could bring persistent rain for a number of days. So that's something we need to keep our eyes on. But generally speaking, chopping and changing next week. So again, if you've got plans, keep up to date with the latest forecast day by day. Wettest weather will be in the northwest, the driest weather and the brightest weather further south and east. Make sure you do stay up to date, not just with the chopping and changing weather next week, but also with that weather warning I mentioned. And as I said, the best way to do that through the app, through the website or across social media.